Tonight on Haunt Me, we serve up a lost episode due to some missing footage. This is Swan Island in Richmond, Maine.
There are local lore and legends surrounding this island.
Is it haunted or not? Welcome to Haunt Me.
Coming back from the Hinsdale house, we are burnt out from probably one of the biggest investigations of our lives. However, we want to go back out on the hunt. We want to do one more wrap-up investigation, and thankfully, enough fans have reached out to us about a place called Swan Island. However, there is a staunch time requirement. There's a ferry on the island, and we were told very explicitly that there is a ferry off at midnight, or this episode turns into Haunt Me's first ever camping episode.
So first, welcome to Swan Island.
Thank you.
This used to be its own town. It was the town of Perkins. It was inhabited for a few hundred years. Last people left around 1930s, 1940s, right around the Great Depression.
We found this online. People sent us recommendations to come here, and I'd never really heard about it before. So I looked up more information about it. It's like a legit ghost town, right? It just vanished in the 40s and people just stopped living here. I didn't know this existed in Maine until we had some viewers recommend that we come out here. Did some research and found out the history goes back to the year 1600 and even earlier when you think about the natives that were here first. So this is the Damaris Gardner family house, which means that what we should pay attention to, whether they're here or not, you know, hopefully not, is that this is the family that had the chronic drowning incidents. That there were people drowned outside and then other family members continued to drown elsewhere.
I find the drowning stories crazy because the two girls that drowned and then some other family members drowned but not in the area, so there's all these deaths on the water. So I don't know if any of that trauma or that sadness is still lingering. I really hope not, but I will keep that in mind that happened.
This campground faces Little Swan Island, and right next to that is Spalding Rock. And there's legend that this woman came here and she met a man and they were going to get married, but she had to go away for a year, and when she came back he had already married, and so she was so upset that she built a house on this giant rock and just stayed there for the rest of her life.
Like Miss Havisham.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I kind of hope to surprise some spirits tonight. I hope that they're kind of like, whoa, where did you come from? I thought we were forgotten about. If they do want any type of help, if they're looking for someone that they feel like they've lost or anything like that, I hope that we can do that for them.
Yeah, this is old.
Yeah.
So 1800s, right?
It was finished in 1810.
Finished in 1810.
Yeah.
How, so it has two last names. Did two families live here at the same time?
Yeah, so Tubbs was the first owner here, and then Reed was the second family.
It's just amazing at how sturdy these homes are, and to see these things that are so old that used to be belongings of somebody or things to work in the yard with. It's really weird to picture so many years ago all of these things being functional.
This place is frozen in time. I don't know. This is...
You literally see the history on the walls.
Yeah. I think it's really important that we are very gentle with the spirits here tonight. Everything that we use tonight is going to be foreign, and because a lot of teams don't come out here and this is relatively unsearched territory as far as the paranormal goes, we're going to have to be very cautious that we don't scare anything off. So the plan for tonight, I think, with the age of the island, I want to get your opinion on this. Yeah. With how old it is, I think our tech, it'll be harder for us to make contact with technology. So I think if we rely on Katie and a little bit more metaphysical stuff, that would be, I think, a good plan.
We do often, though, deal with spirits from like far back, and you can kind of teach them about the
I think
tech.
that we have to keep that in mind. We have to definitely teach if we're gonna do it.
it's
I
a
brought
teaching.
everything, so.
Yeah, good.
And I brought 3 of everything because I think
We're all alone tonight is what you're about to say.
I think that's what I'm gonna say. This island is big and there's a lot of ground to cover, and we need to do that as quickly and as functionally as possible. So what we're going to be doing tonight is we are going to break off into solitary groups immediately. We're gonna go to the furthest reaches of the island as far as the paranormal activity goes and the stories. We're gonna set up camp there for a little bit. Katie, we've talked a little bit about this already. We're each gonna have spell.
Yes. I have made a little pouch for everybody, and in the pouch has different crystals. So crystals that will facilitate communication, but also crystals that really resonate with us, like with our zodiac. Carol, being a water sign, she's been given lots of like calcite, like watery types of stones, and I actually have some water that I bathed in the new moon, so it's been charged a little extra for her to kind of like use as a offering for the spirits of wherever she's going to be. So she can pour out the water as the offering. And so with Ty, he's a Aries, so he's a fire sign. So he has a candle, and he has stones like obsidian, like that are like volcanic stones. And then I am an air sign, so I'm gonna use lots of smoke, using different like coppers and agates that would kind of facilitate for me. So we each have a little altar that we can do ourselves to facilitate communication and openness.
And with that, I think we should go to our spots, and at the same time, we'll make a time on 20 minutes after we start.
Okay.
Wait, and then we'll all wake up the island together. And so do the spells, wake the island up, and then we'll start the hunt. And at the end of the night,
The way that you worded that, wake the island
up. So yeah, we'll have each spot that we start in, investigate there, wake the island up, and then we'll meet back together. And while the spells are running, that'll be our best time. Thank you so much for your walkthrough.
Yeah, no problem.
I can't wait to start tonight. This is the most ground we've ever had to cover, so
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be really cool. So thank you for your time.
Yeah, of
we
course.
hope we get some cool stuff to bring back to corroborate some of your stories. Yeah. So it's time to pre-rate Swan Island. Though we know a lot of this place historically, the claims that we've heard aren't mind-blowing. And to me, that's okay. We just came out of Hinsdale. I'd like a nice, calm, enjoyable evening with the spirits tonight. But because they are so low and we came out of someplace so high just recently, we are going to have to rate this one a little bit lower than normal. We're gonna start the Swan Island investigation off with a pre-rate of a 2. So, we have a new plan tonight that we've never done before because it's super dangerous to do.
Solitary.
To start.
To start, yeah. And honestly, it's really going to take up a lot of the night, most of
Yeah.
the night,
Yeah.
really, because you got a long way to go.
I've got a long way.
And I will be in the gardener house.
Yep.
And you will be in the cemetery. So we're really
Yep.
all spread out.
Far. Yeah.
Yeah.
Will work out well with your plan.
Yes. So here, Carol, this is for you. This is full of all things that are like watery.
Ooh.
Aries,
Thank
fire.
you.
So lots of stones that are like obsidian, like volcanic stones, like that are full, that have no water content to them at all. And then for me, I have, it's in here, I have a lot because I'm an air sign. And mine requires lots of smoke.
Water, fire, air, earth.
Earth,
Wake up spell.
wake up.
So we'd all do these at the same time, which is going to be 25 minutes from when we break.
From when we break.
Okay?
Okay.
Okay.
And then secondly, before we go anywhere, I've had you guys charging up rune stones.
I have my runes.
Keep them while we're investigating because I think you're going to put more into that. And then when we reunite, the stones will reunite as well, and then
Yes.
I can try it out.
Okay.
All right, ready to do this?
Let's do
Start
it.
the spell in 30 minutes.
Okay, 30 minutes.
30 minutes. All right.
Yeah.
7:30.
Be
Cool.
careful.
Good luck.
7:30.
Good luck.
Good luck, guys.
Bye.
Solitaire is always dangerous because you are away from your team. If something happens that's a personal experience, you can't bounce it off anyone else. So we have to be very, very, very particular with the type of evidence that we capture tonight and the amount of danger that we put ourselves into. Okay, so we are about halfway to the oldest house on the island. I have left my team behind me as I walk through these woods towards the north end of the shore. Beautiful moonlit night here on Swan Island in the dark, but I think this is gonna be really cool. I've got a spell from Katie, thoughts of the Hinsdale house on my mind as I head off to a haunted house all by myself. So this will be good.
Hello. My name is Katie. This is my friend Anna. She has a camera in her hand to record the events of tonight. But I'm here to talk to everybody in the cemetery. I'm here to talk to people in the woods. I'm here to talk to anybody who feels like they've been wanting to be heard.
Anybody home? Trying to figure out what that is. Anybody home? I'm hearing small noises, but I was hoping if I did that and it was an animal, it would spook something.
Hey, after a 20-minute walk, I'm at the Tubbs Reed house alone. I've actually chosen the north end of the island in the Tubbs Reed house. It's the oldest house on the island. It had the coolest feeling to me, and I love the history that's here, so I really want to subject myself to that house first. Where to do this spell? Is it 7:30? Yes, it's time. So we all have these spells that Katie started that are attuned to us, I guess, as spellcasters. She said that I have to set up the stones inside around the candles, light them on fire, and then since my sign is fire, that's the offering that I'm giving to the spirits on the island. So I guess let's do some magic.
So right now I'm gonna set up my spell because right when I'm setting it up, should be finished. They should be ready to go.
Ooh, 3 minutes. All right, let's bust this out. At the heart of my evening is communication. This blue kyanite represents the throat chakra, and this quartz is an extra battery to make that louder.
Okay, spirits of Swan Island, I offer this fire to you.
I'm connected to water, and I hope we are able to communicate tonight. And here's my offering to you.
As my smoke rises, it connects with the spell of water that Carol is doing down by the river. It connects with the spell of fire that Ty is doing at the doctor's house. And it seeps into the earth to connect us at all 4 points. It rises up and carries it through the spirit to be the final point of our pentagram tonight. We call forth the spirits of this island. Come and talk with me. Go and talk to Carol. And go and talk with Ty. We care about you.
Okay, I'm coming in. There we go. Okay, let's get our bearings. It's a nice little entryway. A lot of natural light. This is my spell out there. Can you see it on the camera? Because it looks really cool.
A little bit.
My little spell. Okay, so just be careful where you step. That's the basement. Hello? I'm just looking at your house. I really like it. And I don't want you to feel like I'm intruding on anything.
The basement. No, I'm kidding. There's nothing down here. Ooh.
Personally, when I'm doing solitary, I run out of questions within 30 seconds. I kind of just sit there and let, whatever I feel come to me. See what happens.
Ew, ew, ew. Well, just kidding about that. That doesn't even give off anything. Neither do the outlets. Alright, I'm gonna pull that recorder out real quick. I'm getting, my personal feelings are that, and I don't know if it's, I don't know if they know what's going on or if they're still living in this home, but I definitely feel like I'm intruding, but they're also not paying attention to me. I really don't feel like we're alone in here besides the animals. But I'm getting a confused feeling, like the equipment's confusing them, we are confusing them. This is some old souls. They're probably like, what the hell's going on?
The Abenaki tribe. Are there any members of the Abenaki tribe here? You lived on this island for a long time. Do you still live on this island? Are you still part of this island's makeup, this earth? Are you part of its pulse? Come forward. Let me hear your drums.
Okay, so we are in the doctor's room now. This is Dr. Hubbard. We came over on this island with a lot of ladies tonight. My friends Carol and Katie are out at the cemetery and another house. Katie's a witch too. I know that on that note it had a little notation about your interest in women and devil worship. How do you feel about a witch being on your island tonight? I can bring her out here to spend some time with you in this house.
What was that?
What did you hear?
It just sounded like scurrying. I keep hearing almost, can't tell if it's my ears playing tricks on me or like deep footsteps, like something heavy.
Really? From what direction?
Up.
Up?
Sometimes I can't hear you, so this will hear your voice. When I press this button, it will play it for me. So I press this one, and this button makes it okay for me to hear you and you to start talking. So is this your bedroom? Whose bedroom was this? Is this your family's home? If you can tell me your name, try to scream your name into this. Or you could tell me my name if you remember it. I'm just gonna let this go for a few seconds, and maybe you want to just come up and say whatever it is you want to say. If you have a message for somebody, whatever you want to say, if you've been waiting to say it right now. I'll give you a couple seconds. All right. See if we got anything.
And this button makes it okay for me to hear you and you to start talking. So, is this your bedroom? Whose bedroom was this? Is this your family's home? If you can tell me your name, try to scream your name into this. Or you could tell me my name if you remember it. I'm just going to let this go for a few seconds, and maybe you want to just come up and say whatever it is you want to say. If you have a message for somebody, whatever you want to say, if you've been waiting to say it right now. I'll give you a couple seconds. All right.
Nothing. It's pretty dead in here, no pun intended.
Members of the Abenaki tribe, come to me. Show me that you're here. Let me hear your voices. I'm shuffling cards. Come and pick a card. Members of the Abenaki tribe, come forward.
Yeah? Okay, so we were just listening to the audio of whatever the writing is behind us, trying to get some clues about this house at all. The camera had 66 minutes worth of battery left and died. So nothing is leading us along a storyline to try to figure stuff out, but little stuff is happening here and there, so take it or leave it. But we're about to listen to the explanation of the wall art.
The weird writing on the wall. We want to know what it's all about. It's on your wallpaper. Tell us a little bit about this strange writing, because I can't read it.
There's those voices again. Nothing was corroborated in answering any of our questions. Nothing seemed to work in a response to anything that I threw out there. So, unfortunately, as epic as the Tubbs Reed house did look, I would say that it was probably more of a residual haunt, and that's okay, because this island has a lot of other places for us to explore too.
So basically, I can give you my feelings. That's not evidence, but my feelings are, I can't tell how many, if a lot. It's not overwhelming or overbearing. I just don't feel alone in the house, besides the animals in the walls. I don't feel alone. Maybe it's just me picking up on so many families, and it's just a lot of the energy here. We did get, and we'll analyze it, but I think only one EVP that said no. Other than that, there was nothing else. A lot of scurrying and shuffling, but when in doubt, throw it out, and I'm pretty positive a lot of it was animals. But right now I can see the flashlights, and I think Katie's heading back, and Ty's probably heading back this way too, so we'll wrap it up in here. I'm gonna check with them, see what they got, and see where we go from there.
Hey,
Hey!
how'd it go?
Quiet.
Oh,
How about you guys?
I had a lot of animal noises, a lot. There's definitely
yeah.
a lot of animals in that house.
Jesus, okay. For me, it was I think there's stuff there.
yeah, okay.
Probably. It is, I'm very, very confident in saying that it's residual.
Okay.
Anything that we got was not in direct response to anything
To
that
anything.
I did.
I would not mind us to go to that cemetery.
Well, yeah, I think the island itself is calling for us to investigate it. And it's funny you say that about the residual, because as I came out of the house, I was telling Katie, it's all animals, blah, blah, blah. And honestly, my gut feels like there are spirits in there. They're just paying no attention to me at all.
That's where I was. If there's something in there, they're just like, whatever, not interested.
I'm back. I know I said I wasn't gonna come back, but I brought my friends because I felt like we had some unfinished business. Hi.
Based on your feelings, what do you guys think about reuniting the runes that I gave you guys?
Oh.
I've always been interested in runes and the stories that go behind them. The teachings that I've been studying said to charge them in a way that's specific to you before you use them. Katie and Carol and me have each had 1/3 of the stones, each specific on us, and we've been putting our energy into them throughout the day. Katie has phrase because it's a fertility god and it brings change. Carol has haggles things that need to be taken care of and put away are destroyed, and it makes new room for new life. And I thought that was representative of Carol. And left over was tears and Tyr is the sword bearer. So I thought that was kind of interesting with what happened with the Hinsdale house and why I got into this, that the et that remained for me was the sword bearer. Okay. So we charge these based on my friends. Shake them up. And we're here to speak with you in a way that I've never tried before. This isn't of our culture. It goes back even before your culture. but it is the least invasive way I can think of trying to understand your story tonight. So if there's anyone here, please work. Let's learn a little bit more about you. These runes are from Norse mythology. Odin was given these as a vision of power and strength in exchange for his left eye in the story. He was given these runes to illuminate mankind, and they've kind of been lost throughout the ages. Each rune isn't just representative of one thing. Each of the 24 runes tell a story. Let's learn a little bit more about you. Why you were here. Lagos, it's water. So it's purity, and it's like basically the life that was given to the island. Water gives this place life. You live on the water. I think that's pretty easy to understand that this island is here because of the surrounding waters around it. What was your life like? It's source material. It's purifying and light-giving. So you came here because of the water. You learned a great deal about yourself, and you learned that there needed to be a change. Where you are now, turmoil or strife. Water led you to transition. You had strife, but you had to be brave and courageous. But that didn't get you where you needed to go. What we can do for you is give you success, abundance, and power. Know your worth and understand where you are. But I think we need to go a little bit deeper. Do you want to do the how? Ingos means what was that story we heard about earlier about the rock? Because this is finding true love. Coming up from the water, transitioning, trying to find your courage and to be your best self.
This isn't about the Abenaki at all.
You need to find...
This is about her. I just got chills.
You need to find happiness and joy.
What was her name?
I don't remember. What was that story? This is true love. How we can
Because she
help
built her house
on the rock.
And there's legend that this woman came here and she met a man and they were going to get married, but she had to go away for a year. And when she came back, he had already married. And so she was so upset that she built a house on this giant rock and just stayed there for the rest of her life.
This is her story. What does she need now? True love.
Where is she?
I don't know. This is as far as I can take. This is my first time ever.
Yeah.
Well,
So I think that's a lead.
That is an absolute lead.
Do you know where we should go?
No.
If she built her house on top of a cliff, we should go to the lookout tower
Okay.
and do like a tarot card reading up there or something like that.
Let's
It's
go.
the highest point of the island,
You're
right?
right. Let's go there right now.
Okay, cool.
I forgot all about her.
I did too.
She's the one that needs us.
Each rune in a set of 24 runes has an epic attached to them. A rune reader's job is to take those stories in conjunction with the runes that are drawn to create a new story. And that new story, possibly related to what we had heard earlier on the island about a long-lost lover being trapped there forever. So with that being our only piece of evidence, I would say, without tech being able to corroborate that or anything else. It was all we had for that moment, but we wanted to make sure that even at the chance of helping someone, we would always take that chance. So we knew that we had very little time left on the island, so after walking for about 10 minutes in the dark to try to find the highest point of the island, I went sprinting off into the dark to hopefully either find it in under 5 minutes or turn back and make it to the ferry and figure out what else we could do to try to reach out to that spirit.
So Ty just ran up ahead because as of right now, all we can see is dark woods, and we're looking for an opening because that's where the bird watching tower is.
We have minimal time.
And we have like 5 minutes to get there. And if there is no opening within the next 5 minutes, we really should turn around.
Which would suck because I'd feel like we have
I know, but
unfinished business.
I do also feel like not all is lost. Like
Right.
if
Oh,
we
of
try to
course not.
contact her, we
Yeah.
can like get her. Obviously, ideally, it's gonna be in this bird watching tower, but if it's too far away, we have to like figure that out right now and make these decisions right now.
Luckily, in that sprint time and what very little gas I had, close to midnight, I saw this weird tripod-looking War of the Worlds sculpture looming out of the darkness off on top of a field. And I knew that we had probably made it to one of the scariest places that I'd seen in quite some time.
This is cool.
This is nuts. This is so weird.
Yeah, it is.
Our adventures bring us to the weirdest places. We're now climbing a hut to get to the highest point on the island to speak with a dead lady who's still in love with the husband who married off without her. That's what we're doing.
I'm afraid of heights, you guys.
I am too, don't worry. We'll get up there.
I am like super claustrophobic and afraid of heights, but when I knew we were on a time crunch and I was all about delivering a message, and so it didn't matter how high it was. You were just like completely vertical, 20 feet up. I mean, it felt super scary.
First off, we recognize that you're here. We're paying attention to you. If that's enough, if no one's done that in a while, you've kind of become a legend. Sorry that it took us so long tonight to tap into that legend, but even if you're not here with us right now at the moment, we're gonna send our message out to you. That's why we ran across the island to find the highest point to get up to match where you built your home for your lover. We're here in solidarity with you.
Mm-hmm. We're with you.
We know what it feels like to be burned by someone that you love.
And yeah, I mean, burned is the word for it. You love someone so much, you come back and they found someone else. That must have tore you apart. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, this is the time to get over this. These 9 swords right now are piercing through your heart and they're touching into the earth like you're stuck, you're bolted down. You're going to start over. Ace of Discs is here. You're going to start over on this plane of existence. So you have to release your fears and release your mode of thinking that really like ties you down to this one specific person, and know that there's actually much more for you here. And what will happen if you do that? There's going to be, the success of the island is going to prosper. More people are going to come here because the energy of the island will change because of you. You are becoming this like nature spirit that lives on this island, and if you focus and shift your energy, you can shift this energy and bring more people here to bring more love here and bring more families and bring more attention to this island so that it prospers and so that it earns more money and thrives, so that people can take care of it, so that instead of like chopping down a lot of trees, they're planting new trees and they're investing so much time into this island. And you have the power to make all of that happen. You have the power to just like expand. And now is the time. You have to do that now. You have to let go. Pull the swords out. Detach yourself. Unhook. Cut ties, cut strings.
Do you understand? We came all this way. We climbed all this height.
We ran to you.
We ran to you because we help the people who need help the most.
And honestly, you're a legend because all these people that hear about you and repeat it to others feel for you.
Yes.
So many people throughout the years have felt for you and have felt bad for you, and
you're
it's
a
time
legend
for a
because
change.
People care.
Yeah.
And the love that you didn't find in your life is what people are pouring out to you every time they hear the story.
Yeah.
It's why we climbed a tower that is pretty damn rickety, because we want to speak to you at your own level.
Mm-hmm.
It's why we ran across half the island and abandoned an Abenaki conversation in a graveyard. It's because you reached out to us and we're reaching back out to you. So hear this message. Know that you're the only one that can change your own path. You don't need to be just a legend. You can be legendary.
That was good.
Pulling cards at the end of the night after Ty did a rune reading was really exciting because we already had a piece of the information. So I didn't actually have to like figure out who we were talking to or what it could possibly mean. I knew exactly what those cards were going to be about and who they were for. So it was really just about communicating their message to the spirit that we connected with the rune reading. And they did that. And I hope that it gave her a little bit of hope at the end. And I hope that it empowered her to know that she doesn't have to like to keep waiting for a dude, you know? She can just move on because success was coming for her. Even though it wasn't a really like communicative back and forth situation, it still really felt fulfilling at the end.
What I love about you guys is you were down to run to the other end of the island in the middle of the night to climb to the highest point.
You know it!
And now we are in a rush because we cannot miss this ferry.
We got ferry to freaking catch at midnight.
Yep, we have to get back because we tried to connect with the spirit of a dead lover in the middle of a rotten watchtower because that's what we're gonna do. So, with the lack of concrete, solid evidence that we got tonight, it was hard to ground what was actually happening as an intelligent response to any reason why we might have been there whatsoever. It was just happening without us, if it was happening at all. So, with that, we feel fairly safe to rate this a bit lower and keep it as a 2, which is what we pre-rated the episode at. So, the final rating for the Haunt Me Lost episode, the Swan Island investigation, would be a 2, a frith level haunt.